Once upon a time, in a quiet town surrounded by tall trees and soft hills, there lived a giant. His name was Thomas. Thomas was not like the giants in old stories. He didn't scare people. He didn't roar or break houses. He was gentle, quiet, and very, very lonely. Thomas lived in a small wooden cabin at the edge of the forest. He had built it himself long ago when he first arrived in the town. Every morning, Thomas would walk through the forest, picking wild berries, talking to birds, and watching the clouds move across the sky. But he never went into the town. People were afraid of him. They had never seen a giant before. Sometimes, children would run to the edge of the forest to look for him. When they saw his large figure between the trees, they would scream and run back. Adults warned them, "Stay away from the forest. The giant lives there. He could be dangerous." Thomas heard these words many times. They made his heart feel heavy. He had never hurt anyone. All he wanted was a friend. One cold afternoon, as Thomas sat by his fireplace, he heard a sound, a soft cry. He stood up and listened. The crying came again. It was coming from outside. He opened his door and looked around. There, sitting on the snowy ground, was a small girl. She was no older than 6 or 7. Her face was red from the cold, and her boots were wet. Thomas bent down slowly so he wouldn't scare her. "Are you lost?" he asked in his deep, soft voice. The girl looked up. Her eyes were full of tears. But she didn't run. She looked at his kind face and nodded. "My name is Emma," she said quietly. "I got lost looking for my dog." Thomas looked around. There was no dog in sight. "Come inside," he said gently. "It's warm. We'll find your dog together soon." Emma followed him inside. She sat by the fire, and Thomas gave her a blanket and some warm soup. They didn't speak much at first, but slowly, Emma began to smile. "You're not scary," she said. "You're nice." Thomas smiled. "Thank you. Not many people say that." Emma looked at the small wooden figures on his shelf. "Did you make those?" "Yes," Thomas said. "I carve them when I feel sad. It helps me feel better." Emma picked up a tiny bird. "It's beautiful." After a while, Thomas stood up. "Let's look for your dog." Together, they walked through the snow, calling out, "Milo! Milo!" It was almost dark when they heard barking. A little brown dog came running through the trees, tail wagging. Emma laughed and hugged him tight. "Thank you, Thomas," she said. "You helped me so much." Thomas smiled, and his eyes filled with happy tears. "I'm glad you're safe." Emma looked up at him. "Can I visit you again?" Thomas was surprised. No one had ever asked that before. "Of course," he said. From that day on, Emma came to visit every weekend. She brought books, games, and sometimes even cookies. Her parents were afraid at first, but Emma told them about Thomas. Slowly, they understood he was not dangerous. Soon, other children wanted to meet the kind giant in the forest. One by one, they came. Thomas taught them how to carve wood, how to listen to birds, and how to be kind to all living things. The town began to change. People started waving to Thomas when he walked by. Some brought him apples or warm bread. Others came just to talk. One summer day, the mayor came to visit. He stood in front of Thomas's cabin and said, "We were wrong about you. Thank you for being patient with us. You have brought something very special to our town." Thomas felt something warm grow in his chest. For the first time in many years, he didn't feel alone. Years passed. The children grew up, but they never forgot Thomas. They told stories about the gentle giant who showed them love and kindness. And Thomas? He was never lonely again. Giant, a very large person in stories. Lonely, feeling sad because you are alone. Cabin, a small house, usually in the forest or mountains. Scare, to make someone feel afraid. Edge, the far side or border of something. Carve, to cut and shape wood or another material. Patient, able to wait without getting angry. Mayor, the leader of a town. Wagging, moving a tail quickly from side to side. Kindness, being nice and caring toward others. Ask ChatGPT.